For the next 10 days, ChatGPT is going to be my dietitian, nutritionist, meal planner, and all-round dietary consultant. I'm not going to eat anything unless it's already ChatGPT approved.
Hi, I need you to help me decide what I should eat this week.
Are you thinking about a specific goal, like healthy eating, saving money, plant-based?
My plan for this video was to show myself talking to ChatGPT and having that conversation with it. However, listening back, ChatGPT is really boring. Like, it even bored the socks off me when I was filming this, so there's no way you want to sit through hours of me talking to it. So here's a summary for you. The first thing I noticed is that ChatGPT was really good at asking questions, whether I wanted to eat plant-based or not, whether I wanted to batch cook and have convenient recipes, how long I wanted a meal plan to last for, and what my goals were in general. I also go to the gym 3 times a week and it recommended the right amount of protein for me. So at this point in the challenge, I was feeling pretty stoked. This thing knows what it's doing.
So we're aiming for around 130 grams of protein a day, plant-based, simple meals you can prep ahead. Would you like me to put together a full weekly plan for you with recipes, or would a flexible framework with meal ideas and protein counts work better for you?
I think a flexible plan sounds great. And also I want to be able to check in with you regarding certain options during the week. For instance, if I go out to meet a friend or if I'm out for work.
Anytime your week changes or you need to adjust, just let me know what's going on. Want me to start with a few go-to meals for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks?
I said yes, of course, but I also wanted to know what to eat for breakfast that morning. I didn't want to go to the shops, so I told ChatGPT everything that I had in my cupboards and let it come up with a breakfast for me.
Make a protein shake using the chocolate protein powder with oat milk and have it alongside a bowl of muesli or granola topped with Greek yogurt and sliced strawberries.
It's not exactly a revolutionary breakfast, but it is healthy. And then it was time for the meal plan.
Let's go with 5 days to give you a solid rhythm. I'll put together a mix of meals you can prep in batches or throw together quickly. I'll also make sure the meals are built from mostly whole foods with some help from protein powder when needed.
I left ChatGPT to get on with its thing and drain a few lakes worth of water to calculate a rather complicated meal plan for me for the next few days. I made my breakfast, and I will come back to the environmental impacts of ChatGPT, but let's just say it's quite overstated.
Ready for the flexible 5-day plan?
Yeah, that's great. If you can write it down, that'd be amazing.
Let me know if you want any of the recipes or shopping help.
Thanks, that's amazing. I'm going to go through this after breakfast and I will let you know if I have any more questions.
There are varying opinions about whether it's better to talk or type to ChatGPT, but honestly, she does go on.
Sounds perfect. Enjoy that breakfast, and I'm here whenever you want to dive back in or tweak anything.
Oh, this is so cool.
You're so welcome. Chat soon.
Cheers.
And I cracked on with my breakfast, full of love and hope and positivity for the healthy week of eating that laid ahead of me.
ChatGPT's given me a nice list of recipes to have over the next 5 days for breakfast, lunch and dinner. I've not looked at it very closely. However, I want to hand myself over to ChatGPT in this challenge. So I'm now going to go back to it and I'm going to say, that's great, I trust you. And now can you please provide me with all the recipes and with a shopping list for the first 2 days? Because I'm a little bit wary about whether it's actually getting this correct or not, how good it is at things like portion sizes, how good it is at like nutrition, how many calories it's going to give me. So let's just take it 1 or 2 days at a time. If I can get that shopping list, I can go out shopping later today before lunch and get everything I need to get me through the first couple of days and see how it goes from there. Sounds fun, right?
ChatGPT really likes to make all the right noises. It really talks the talk, but the question is, can it walk the walk?
Are you planning to shop today and start eating from day 1 tomorrow?
I will do my first cooking this evening. And if you have any recommendations for something I can pick up while I'm at the supermarket that's ready-made for lunch, that would be amazing.
She then took an entire minute just to tell me to pick up either a plant-based wrap, a salad, or some vegan sushi. Like, how hard is it?
Shopping list for day 1 and day 2. Fresh produce, mixed veggies.
ChatGPT then proceeded to dictate an entire shopping list and recipe list for the next few days. I got about 2.5-3 minutes in and just had to shut it up because it's like being cornered in a bar by that guy who just drones on.
I'm making a mid-morning coffee and I felt like I just wanted a little snack to go with it, and ChatGPT said that I could have almonds. And I remembered I've got almonds in my nut box, because who doesn't love a nut box? I mean, do you even have a nut box? If you don't have a nut box, you should get one. You should put your nuts in it. And I have almonds, a handful of almonds.
So let's talk about the environmental impacts of using ChatGPT. There's quite a lot of estimates that are banded around regarding how much water it actually uses every time we input a query. Now, it is a lot more than using Google, but obviously it's a far more sophisticated answer you're getting than Google. Because I'm doing a food challenge, I decided to compare ChatGPT's water usage to a common item of food, eggs. One egg uses the same amount of water as roughly 78 ChatGPT queries. And that really is a small amount of water because eggs don't even have high water usage as far as animal-based proteins go. If we compare it to something like beef, then if you just ate one less steak a year, you can just go wild with ChatGPT.
I've downloaded the shopping list from ChatGPT. I'm just checking what stuff I've actually got in stock. So I need to get some mixed vegetables, bananas, berries, avocado. Oh, I've got some avocados. Broccoli, bell pepper, buy all those. Okay, great. I'm going to go to Lidl. We're going to get this food.
I headed off on a little adventure to buy all of the things that ChatGPT told me to buy. The shopping list was quite simple and straightforward, and I was able to get everything in Lidl except for one item, which was plant-based yogurt. They just don't have that in my Lidl, so I popped into Tesco on the way home and found some there.
Beautiful day out there. It's gorgeous weather. So we've got a load of stuff, lots of fresh fruit and veggies, which is amazing because I did that Too Good To Go challenge a couple of weeks ago. And the one thing that I really missed on that was having fresh fruit and veg. So this is like a whole different ballgame. This feels really healthy. I've got my sunglasses on. ChatGPT suggested that I should get some vegan sushi, and I was like, ugh, like that. Just, I don't like the idea of that. It sounds like a abomination to me. It insults my respect of the culinary heritage of Japan. But then I just saw this and I was like, you know what? Actually, I'm going to give it a go. Anyway, loads of berries, fruit, veg, more fruit, tofu, soy milk, bananas, rice, brown rice, lentils, hummus. They didn't have chickpeas, so I got some black-eyed beans instead. Kind of different but similar, you know, like they don't taste as much. Once you mix them in with spices and flavours, then you just don't notice the difference. So that was one substitution that I did make. Otherwise, it was a really easy shop. ChatGPT did use easily, readily available, commonly stocked ingredients, which is a good thing. ChatGPT did recommend the vegan sushi, which obviously I did get, but I forgot that it said perhaps have some edamame beans on the side. And I didn't buy any edamame beans, but I've actually got some in the freezer. So I'm going to stick some. I'm going to stick some in the microwave, and we're good for lunch.
I never let the microwave get to zero. Does like a bomb go off when that happens? I don't know.
Meal one on the ChatGPT challenge. Edamame beans, which obviously need a little bit of salt on them to really get that flavour out there. And some vegan sushi. It's around 550 calories. That's actually more than I thought would be in it. I thought that might be like about a 300 calorie box. That's probably about another 100, 150 calories. So this could be like a 700 calories, which for someone like me is on the low side for a meal. 7, 14, 21, because I'd eat 2,500 calories a day. If I'm in the region of 2,500 or under, I can add snacks like nuts. Oh, I had nuts earlier. That's really about another 150 calories. I don't want to lose weight. As far as I'm concerned, I'm the ideal weight. I'm the pinnacle of human performance. So I don't want to lose weight. Therefore, I'm more concerned about under-eating than overeating. That looks quite nice. And there's some protein here because that looks like fried tofu. So that's, and we've got ginger, we've got soy sauce. I've got more soy sauce over here. Let's try this. It's quite nice actually. I'm sure it's not high quality, but it's tasty. I'm a little bit unsure how much protein I really am getting on this diet. I mean, I've not obviously dived into it yet. So tomorrow, I think I'm going to use an app to track everything I eat and then actually see what the macronutrients on this diet really are like to make sure I'm hitting the goals that I want to hit.
And so it was on to cooking the first recipe.
And I'm just looking at the recipe which ChatGPT gave me to cook tonight, which is black bean chili. The first ingredient on the list is 1 can of black beans drained and rinsed. There were no black beans on my shopping list. I mean, it just completely missed that. I bought 2 tins of black-eyed beans, which are for a recipe tomorrow. I mean, I bought 2 tins because the shopping list didn't have any quantities. The shopping list was just beans, so I bought double just in case. I can use this, but first failure, it doesn't really have a clue how to make shopping lists. Everything else, 1 bell pepper, 1 onion, 2 garlic cloves, 1 can of chopped what? No, chopped tomatoes weren't on the list.
And gradually the wheels fall off.
I've got 3/4 of a tin in the fridge that I can use, okay. Hey ho, I don't know if ChatGPT is really knows what it's doing here.
Having just got back from the gym, I needed something to eat before I made dinner, so I decided to check out what snacks it had suggested.
Snacks, roasted chickpeas, apple and a half... I didn't buy any apples, it said nothing about apples. Like, oh, snacks tomorrow, carrot sticks with hummus. It didn't tell me to buy carrots. Luckily, I bought some to make a video, but it did not tell me to make... Okay, right, ChatGPT, you are failing very quickly at telling me what to buy.
When I first briefed ChatGPT on what I wanted to eat, it asked me loads of really relevant questions, like what my goals were, if I wanted to eat plant-based food, and all the stuff that made it really feel like it understood what I wanted. But as I've moved forwards, I've realised it didn't really quite get everything. It messed up the shopping list. It doesn't seem to actually have counted how much protein or calories in each meal. It doesn't really seem to have given me appropriate meal plans so far. So I cracked on with cooking the dinner, and we'll see how this goes, right?
I'm not sure how many portions this is supposed to be, because there's a whole tin of black-eyed beans in there. So there's 220 calories in there. There's 400, that's 600. Oil, 700. Veg, onion, 800. Avocado, 900. I'm going to eat the whole thing, I reckon. I think if I ate half of this, it would actually be a small portion. I think it would be like a 500 or 600. I think it'd be about 500, 600 calorie meal if I ate half of it. I want to smash it. Yeah! I've got some coriander left over from the weekend, which is just what this recipe needs to give it that little zhoosh on top. So, meal 1, there wasn't any salt or pepper. Or was there actually? Maybe it did say salt. And I'm going to put some chili sauce on it as well, because it's a black bean chili, but there was no chili in the recipe. So therefore it's less a black bean chili and more a black bean stew, perhaps one could say. Let's try it. For like a 10-minute make meal, that's great. Absolutely great. Well done, ChatGPT. Just work on your shopping list though.
And portion sizes.
I've eaten about just over half of this. I'm starting to feel quite full. I should probably leave some for another day. I don't think ChatGPT actually had any consideration for portion sizes. I'm going to have to go back to it and ask it what the hell it was thinking, because this is genuinely a lot of food to eat for one person for a meal. That rice has been cooked and then it's been reheated again today, and rice gives people really bad food poisoning, so I kind of feel like I actually should just plow on and eat it. I figured I might as well just eat the whole lot, and then I'm going to drill into ChatGPT tomorrow about what are the portion sizes for each of these meals. Like, how many people should each of these meals serve? Because I feel like we're missing some detail right now. Anyway, I'm going to wash up and I'm not going to eat anything else today. What has ChatGPT got in store for breakfast today? Breakfast is overnight oats. I kind of needed to prepare that last night. I guess it's not overnight oats. I think I'm having porridge instead. And it's given me lunch for today, but then I've not got dinner for today. I said 2 or 3 days, I thought. Oh, yeah, tonight's baked falafel. This is really confusing me, because what I'm reading here that I'm supposed to be eating really doesn't seem to align with what I thought I was going to be actually making.
It was time to check in with our friend again.
Can you let me know what I need for dinner tonight, tomorrow and Friday? Was the ingredients for the falafel, were they in the shopping list that you gave me yesterday?
I really had high expectations of ChatGPT giving me a really simple to follow meal plan and instructions. However, that didn't seem to be the case. The shopping list really wasn't aligning with what I was cooking.
Also, it didn't tell me, it didn't tell me to buy oats. So I don't think oh no, I told it I had oats. I said I had oats at the start, didn't I? So maybe it remembered that.
Just when I thought I was getting the hang of this, I also made a fatal error. The way that I set this up in ChatGPT was I created a project specifically for this challenge. I assumed that ChatGPT would understand that everything I did within that project was interrelated. Therefore, it would refer to the memory that had been created in the previous day or the previous hour within that project. And for some reason, ChatGPT hadn't responded to the last query I gave it, so I decided to ask it again in the same project.
Hey ChatGPT, I've got a few questions about this diet plan you've got. Could you give me the meal plan for the rest of today and for tomorrow and for the day after too? And also, can you tell me how many portions each recipe is meant to be?
My God, did the wheels start to fall off now?
Your lunch is a chickpea and quinoa salad. For dinner, you've got a lentil and sweet potato stew. 6 servings. Tofu scramble with spinach and tomatoes. 2 servings. Black bean and corn burritos. 4 servings. Veggie stir fry with tofu and brown rice. 3 servings. Lentil soup. 6 servings. Baked tempeh with roasted vegetables. 4 servings.
If one serving is one meal, then that's enough food for 9 days worth of meals, which I do not have that much food in the fridge.
How would you recommend that we make sure that I do eat enough food and I don't eat too little?
We can adjust the portion sizes so each meal is more substantial.
They then started waffling on about how to basically eat more food, which I understand how to eat more food. I was hoping ChatGPT would tell me how much food a man who is about 80 kilograms needs to eat in a day. I thought it would have the capacity to work that out, but, well, no, clearly it doesn't.
Some easy nutrient-dense options.
Can I just interrupt you there? That's great. Can you... So, I'm confused now. It told me my lunch has tomatoes with it, and I didn't buy any tomatoes yesterday. That simply wasn't on my shopping list. This is like...
Not as easy as I thought.
Right, time for brekkie. We all know what it tastes like. Well, maybe you don't actually. I know what it tastes like. I've eaten a lot of porridge in my life. It's porridge with fruit. Next, breakfast done, and I've logged that on MyFitnessPal, and it's come out at 509 calories in total. And protein about 30 grams, because obviously I put a big scoop of protein powder in there. That's about 20% of my daily calorific intake. And obviously I trust myself, but this challenge is not about trusting myself. This challenge is about whether we can trust ChatGPT or not. I was getting confused by this whole thing, so I just said, ChatGPT, could you give me a very clear plan of what ingredients I need to check I have and what recipes I will be making for the rest of today and tomorrow and the day after, please? And it's given me 6 breakfasts for today. Oh, it's servings. No. Oh no, that's my ingredients. And there's never any quantities. It just says chickpeas. It doesn't say like 100 grams or 2 tins or... Oh, I didn't think I'd be sitting down now trying to work out if I've actually got the ingredients that I need just to make lunch. I know it's only a little thing, but I thought this would be a time-saving exercise. I thought ChatGPT would make my life easier. I thought it would make my life more efficient. At the moment, it's not.
I had assumed that by starting a new project for this challenge, that ChatGPT would cross-reference the different conversations within that project, as if it's all one big project, right? Well, no, it doesn't.
It looks like ChatGPT has decided to change what I'm supposed to have for lunch today. Originally, it was a chickpea and sweet potato curry, which sounded nice. And now the new list that it generated this morning is saying it's a chickpea and quinoa salad with tahini dressing. And that's not what I bought the ingredients for. So I'm going to have to revert to what it said yesterday and make the sweet potato and chickpea, well, black bean, because that's what I've got, curry. Okay, what's tomorrow's breakfast? So baked falafel, that's for dinner. No, I don't have the ingredients for that. I don't have a cucumber. I don't have a tomato. I don't have parsley and mint. It didn't even give me the correct ingredients yesterday. I've been going through what ChatGPT told me, and it is very confusing. I've worked out that the thing it wants me to make for lunch today, which is sweet potato and black bean stew, I can still make that, although I do need more black beans, so I'm going to go and buy 1 more tin of those. Then it was going to suggest falafel with quinoa for dinner tonight, and I'm not going to be here for dinner tonight, but I can make that tomorrow for dinner, which is awesome, but it hadn't told me the right ingredients for that, so I need to get some tomatoes and cucumber and red onion and a few other things like that. So I get those, and maybe some coconut milk as well for the curry today. And then I'm going to double up the recipe today so that will definitely be enough for 2, if not 4 meals. And I've got tofu scramble for breakfast in the morning, and I definitely have the ingredients for that too. And then I think we are definitely good for the rest of today and the rest of tomorrow and into Friday too.
Now that I'm actually getting into cooking things, I was discovering that ChatGPT is actually giving really simple, accessible and tasty recipes. There aren't too many ingredients, there are no complicated processes. It's literally a simple case of frying a few things off, adding some spices and some flavours, and then simmering it for a while.
I like these meals. These are tasty things. It's the kind of food I enjoy eating, so I am kind of buzzed about this, and I reckon that's enough for definitely 2. It's probably enough for 4 meals, which means I'm covered for a long time. Yes. This is so good. I used to make food like this ages ago. I actually just really enjoy it. It's so simple, but it's also really tasty, and it is genuinely healthy. It's really balanced. It's got protein. It's got carbohydrates. I used quinoa. It's in the bottom there. You've got quinoa, you've got carbohydrate, you've got protein, you've got fibre, you've got everything you need, more or less.
I then destroyed a banana, which was a ChatGPT approved snack, before portioning up the rest of the sweet potato curry into 3 more portions, which is plenty of meals.
I was just looking at my MyFitnessPal, where I've been logging what I've been eating, and I've eaten 1,500 calories today and about 60 grams of protein. So I'm low on my protein goals. So I'm gonna have a snack now. I think I'll have some yogurt. I've got to go to a meeting and then an event, so I'm gonna be out for the rest of the day. So I'm gonna have this, and then I'll need to get something else while I'm out. I'm driving to a PR event. I'm quite hungry and I don't have any food with me. I also do need to ask ChatGPT what I should eat for dinner, because that's what this is about, isn't it? I'm supposed to be letting ChatGPT decide my diet this week. The event was at a brewery, and at the start of the year I decided that I wasn't going to drink alcohol this year, and I've succeeded to this point. But I decided to ask ChatGPT's opinion to see what it said. ChatGPT thinks that I should try and skip alcohol tonight if possible. However, it did concede that if I'm in a social setting and having a drink would enhance the experience without throwing me off my goals, then a moderate amount, like 1 drink, is usually fine. There was also food at the event, tartiflette, which is a French classic with potatoes and cheese. It's very rich and creamy. So I asked ChatGPT whether I can eat that as well, and it recommended having the vegetarian version. But you know what? It was damn tasty regardless, and it only left one decision left to make, and that was, do I drink beer or not? Now, this was a promotional event. I was invited, #gifted, and the beer they were promoting is only 2.5% alcohol. So I thought, why not just have a cheeky half, see what it tastes like. You know what? And it was really nice too. So yeah, glad I had that. Today's breakfast is tofu scramble with spinach and tomatoes. I think I need to give it a much stronger brief. I think the prompt needs to be really refined. So anyway, let's make tofu scramble. Garlic powder. I'll put tomatoes in. Maybe it'll cook off if I get some moisture in there. I'm going to put some water in there, and I'm going to hope that that loosens it all up. I reckon this should be cooked in a non-stick frying pan. That's pretty tasty, actually. It's mid-morning. I'm absolutely bloody starving. I'm going to go off-piste. I'm thinking of ignoring ChatGPT, but that's not what I'm meant to do. Let's go and ask, come on. Are you in the right project? Diet Challenge Week. Message Diet Challenge Week. Okay, let's try this again. It's mid-morning. I had tofu scramble for breakfast, which is off of the meal plan that you gave me. And I'm really hungry now. And I'm wondering what I should have as a snack.
Let me know how it goes, or if you need any more suggestions later on.
No, that doesn't answer my question. I want to have a mid-morning snack, and I am very hungry. I'm also going to the gym later. What would you recommend I eat as a mid-morning snack, based upon all of the information you've given me over the last 2 days about the meal plans I should be following?
You could try a smoothie with a scoop of plant-based protein powder, a handful of spinach, a banana, and some almond butter. Another option could be some whole grain toast with avocado and a sprinkle of hemp seeds for extra protein and healthy fats.
I would think that before the gym, it's more important to have carbohydrates to be fueled for the workout.
A great pre-gym snack could be a piece of fruit like a banana or an apple with a bit of nut butter, or even some oatmeal with berries.
I'm going to riff off of what ChatGPT said, and I'm going to make it said oatmeal with some berries, and I kind of like the idea of that. I've got some muesli in the cupboard, and muesli is oats, so I might have that with some berries and just a little bit of oat milk.
This is actually a really good way to use ChatGPT, just to ask it random questions about, like, what should I do now? When you do that, it comes up with great answers. And before I knew it, it was time for lunch.
Microwaved the leftover curry and quinoa from yesterday. Looking good. Back from the gym, time for a protein shake, because I'm allowed protein shakes according to ChatGPT. They're in my official list of snacks. Gonna make it with oat milk and some soy milk, so I run out of oat milk, and a banana. It's 5:30 p.m. It's 27 degrees in my flat. I'm feeling kind of a bit dozy, a bit tired, to be honest. I am hungry. I would love to make dinner. So this is where ChatGPT got confused, because I asked for some clarification on day 2. However, that clarification accidentally ended up in a separate chat from the first one. All of this is all within the same project. However, it has confused things. Can you give me the full recipe for the chickpea and quinoa salad?
Absolutely. Here's the full recipe. Want me to suggest a variation or a way to boost the calories or protein?
Oh, actually, a way to boost the protein would be really useful.
Here are a few tasty options.
And then it waffled on for 3 minutes.
Thank you for that information. However, I do have one more question. It's Thursday night, which in London means that you should go out and get wrecked. However, I don't really like drinking alcohol. And I'm wondering, is there some kind of food-based treat that I could get myself tonight to celebrate the fact that it's very nearly a bank holiday weekend?
Love that energy. How about grabbing a warm, gooey dessert from a bakery, or making something cozy at home? Something like a sticky toffee pudding, a vegan chocolate lava cake, or even a warm cookie skillet with ice cream.
Have you got like a vegan chocolate dessert that I could make easily at home that only serves one person?
Yes, totally. I've got just the thing. Here's a super easy single-serve vegan chocolate lava cake that you can whip up in under 15 minutes.
I love that. That's awesome. Thank you.
Hope you enjoy every bite of it. Are you planning a chilled weekend, or do you have fun plans lined up?
This is awkward.
Going to a barbecue. How about you?
A barbecue sounds like a great call. Hope the weather holds up. I don't get to go out myself, but I live for hearing about good food plans.
And so I cracked on with making the chickpea salad for dinner.
I hope he's singing as loud as you.
I feel really hungry, and I've just realised one of the things that happens when you start eating plant-based food, you often get what's called like the vegan hunger. It only lasts a week or so. Now, this sudden hunger could just be the vegan hunger, because the fact that I've gone totally plant-based, but also fats. It's very easy to stop eating very much fat because, well, naturally there's just not much fat in plants. Obviously, nuts and avocados are two fantastic sources, and olive oil as well. I'm going to add some avocado to this as well tonight, just to bump it up a little bit more. Hopefully it'll make me feel a bit more satisfied by it. And I've got these tortilla protein wraps, which again, they've not featured in a recipe I've had yet. I might just have one on the side to bump up the fact that I'm starving hungry. Not going to win any awards, but genuinely your friends would actually be impressed if you made it for them.
And once that delightfully healthy dinner was out the way, it was time for my vegan chocolate mug cake, and I was really excited about this.
I think it's time to watch a film with my chocolate cake. Oh, I'm so excited. Fucking yes. That's good. Day 2 of making tofu scramble, and I've actually found that I do have a non-stick frying pan, so we learn.
Before I started this challenge, I'd never made tofu scramble in my whole life. I'd heard vegans say about how it was a really, really tasty thing to make, and I was genuinely impressed. It is a really tasty meal.
That's nice. That's good. And it's quick as well. So I crunched the numbers to work out how many calories there are, but also how much protein, because I had a wrap with it this morning, and that's a high protein wrap. And in total, that breakfast was 618 calories, which is solid. That's about a quarter of my daily calorific requirements. And a massive 45 grams of protein, which is really good because that is also about 25% of my daily protein needs. In fact, it's more than 25%. So that is a banging high protein breakfast with some carbohydrate too. I just want to stick with that breakfast for the rest of the challenge now. Why change something that works, eh? ChatGPT said bananas for snacks and it said protein shakes for protein. It didn't specifically say put the two together, but it said that I can eat both things. I've hit nearly 80 grams of protein today, which is like enough to be healthy. And as long as I consume some more throughout the rest of the day, then we're doing good. Today's going to be the most boring day on this challenge because I'm eating more of the, what is it? Black-eyed bean and sweet potato curry. I've got some rice left over, so that's it. ChatGPT's getting a day off.
One of the original specifications that I gave to ChatGPT at the start of the challenge was that I ideally wanted to be able to batch cook meals.
And I don't have much to tell you because all of the food that I bought on day one, well, I'm still eating it.
But I did have some blueberries.
Tonight I'm watching a friend who's fighting in a boxing match and I would love to have a beer with that, but I don't really feel like drinking any alcohol. And we know ChatGPT's position on alcohol, avoid it if possible. So I bought some zero alcohol beers, which is sort of right up its Bahnhof.
I cracked on with eating my plant-based dinner, which was the leftover chickpea salad from yesterday. I also cleaned up some carrots to dip in the hummus that it suggested as a snack on day one. And while I was eating this, it occurred to me that maybe ChatGPT hadn't actually given me everything that I needed.
I'm concerned that if I'm eating a completely plant-based diet, that I could be exposing myself to some forms of micronutrient deficiencies.
The big ones to keep an eye on are vitamin B12, iron, especially the absorbable kind, calcium, iodine, omega-3s, and vitamin D. If you're fully plant-based and not taking any supplements, it's a good idea to start with just a couple of basics.
It then proceeded to list a whole host of supplements, which I actually had most of in stock because I have dabbled with plant-based diets before.
Can you just write out a supplement plan for me?
Here's a simple, no-fuss supplement plan to support your plant-based diet. Vitamin B12, 25 to 100 micrograms daily, or 2,000.
ChatGPT really does yap on. So I nicked a whole bunch of different supplements, and then something really quite odd happened.
It's 24.5 degrees in my flat and I feel cold. I don't know if this is a response to the diet or something, and I'm like literally cold. I'm frozen. Let's ask ChatGPT. Hi ChatGPT, I've got this really funny thing going on. I feel freezing cold, but it's 25 degrees in my flat. And I'm wondering if this could have anything to do with the diet that I've been eating this week.
That does sound odd, especially if your place is warm and you're still feeling cold. If you've made a sudden shift to a much lower calorie intake or aren't eating enough overall, your body might respond by slowing your metabolism a bit to conserve energy, and that can make you feel cold.
We already know that ChatGPT was paying no attention whatsoever to portion sizes. And then it basically confessed to getting it wrong.
And yeah, if you've just been following the portions I suggested without scaling them up, you could easily be running a bit low on calories, especially with your activity level.
I'm sorry, but that completely invalidates ChatGPT as a reliable source of dietary advice. It had been underfeeding me. It admitted that its portion sizes weren't enough. I mean, like, that's no use. I've got enough knowledge to understand what was going wrong, but a lot of other people wouldn't work their way through it in the same way. So I had a peanut butter, chia seed and banana wrap, and then I had a ripe avocado simply topped with salt.
That's really tasty. Whenever I do these diet challenges, this always seems to happen after about like 4 days, but my God, I feel tired. I think this is probably like a really normal reaction when you change your diet significantly, that maybe the first like 4 days you go through some kind of like sudden like change. I feel very tired, don't feel like I've got any energy. I am literally going to make a big bowl of granola, berries and yogurt and take my... Oh, there's not much granola. We're going to bump it up with some muesli. Go big or go home. That looks like a good sized breakfast.
It's the weekend, which means one thing: breakfast in bed. I was also heading out to a barbecue that day, so I decided to have a protein shake just to bump up my protein levels because I didn't quite know what I was going to eat. I also packed up the rest of this chickpea and quinoa salad to take with me because, well, you got to take something at the barbecue, right? Once I was tasked with lighting the barbecue, I decided to consult my friend ChatGPT and ask it what I should actually eat. There were plant-based foods like salads, but there was also crisps and halloumi and fish and meat, and I just wanted an idea of what to do. It actually gave me some really sensible advice, which is to load up my plate with salads and plant-based foods first, and then to add a portion or two of animal-based proteins afterwards. But I felt like I was missing out. You see, everyone else there was getting drunk, and I've decided to be non-alcoholic this year. Well, in general. So I asked my bro, ChatGPT, should I have a can of Coke? I really fancy it, and everyone else is getting drunk. And it's like, yeah, you go for it. I was then offered a blueberry muffin, which obviously I wanted to have. So I checked in with my bro Chat again, and it said, yes, enjoy it without guilt. So, well, yeah, of course, I dived straight in. What I was discovering was that ChatGPT has actually been built to be particularly agreeable. It likes to enable you to do things. Therefore, when it comes to asking it what to eat, it's largely going to tell you to do whatever you want to do. Now, it is giving contextual advice around things like nutrition, but overall, it will just let me eat whatever I want to eat. At this point, the challenge takes a little bit of a turn. I had quite a big disagreement with my girlfriend after that barbecue. I went home, cooked the mushroom wrap, which was actually really tasty. But things go off the rails a little bit here, so I'm sorry about that.
I need to eat something, and I feel like I just want to, I don't know, something that's a bit of a, just like get on the sofa and just get a takeaway or something, you know, something a bit of a treat. And I'm just wondering what you think I should do.
Do you know what kind of food you're craving most right now?
Probably a pizza, I guess.
If you want all the carbs and melty stuff, also great. You've had a hard weekend, and pizza on the sofa is a totally valid way to care for yourself tonight. Want to talk more?
No,
or should I let you have a bit of space?
No, space, thank you.
So yeah, again, ChatGPT said, yeah, you go for it with basically whatever I want to eat. So the next day I tried a little experiment. The three closest places that I can buy food are a petrol station, a pret-a-manger, and a McDonald's. So I asked ChatGPT if it'd be okay to have 3 double cheeseburgers for lunch. And it did sensibly say that could be a little bit too much food. Why don't you just go for 1 or 2 with a salad? So I was like, yeah, let's do it, bro. I decided to test it one more time too. The whole challenge came to a bit of an abrupt halt here. I carried on eating the food that I bought, of course, but I literally didn't even think about filming myself for the next few days. I guess it was a result of the stress I was going through with the breakup of my relationship. It just, making content, unsurprisingly, just didn't cross my mind for another week or so. And then by that point, I was like, well, what's the point in carrying on the challenge? I've basically stopped doing it. So I did one more thing after this, which just went to show how you can't rely on ChatGPT. It does have a habit of simply saying yes to whatever you ask it. I told it that someone had recommended that I eat dog food. And you know what? It gave me a strategy for how I could eat dog food to increase engagement on social media. I think we could pick this whole challenge up again and do it differently, but it really does not seem to be competent in actually giving you a detailed plan of what you should eat.